How you doing there, folks? Lame Schmo coming to you from FEMA Region number 3. Oh, Yeshua, our Savior, our bridegroom, the Lamb of Yahweh, who takes away the sin of the world. Oh, my goodness, how magnificent your name in all the earth. His words never return unto us void, my friends. Read it and weep. Take heed that no one deceives you. How many times do we have to show this verse? Many, many more, I am sure. Well, Laban, why are you showing it this time? Here for your first prophecy alert of the month of April of the year 2016. Well, hold on, I'm getting to it. In my last video, my friends, which was on March the 27th of 2016, it was a prophecy alert, and I decided to do that prophecy alert because of an email sent to me by a dear sister that had to do with the grand opening of that piece of trash you see on the screen right in front of you, this Turkish-American Cultural Center on Good Luck Road, Elvis Lane and Good Luck Road in Lanham, Maryland, a state that should be closed, shut down, done away with. Elohim, do your thing. All right. Now, the headline that the dear sister sent to me, alerting me to the fact that this piece of trash was getting ready to open, was a headline that she originally saw on the WALID SHOEBAT website. Take a look at this. Take a look at both headlines here. On the left, you see the headline that SHOEBAT features in the article that you see on the right from SHOEBAT's webpage. I did my prophecy alert on this on March 27th. The SHOEBAT page there is dated March 25th. Let's read this part right here together, my friends, and we'll see why Yeshua is telling us and has told us many, many times, do not be deceived. Let's read this. President Obama next week will open the largest American mosque in the world, built here in the U.S. He will be accompanied by Antichrist Erdogan of Turkey, and together we'll enjoy the sounds of Allahu Akbar. So, Laban, tell us, what is deceptive about that, What's so deceptive about what we just read? Well, my friends, a lot. There's a lot that is deceptive about what we just read. And it is not deception that has been brought on by this buffoon Erdogan. And it is not deception that has been brought on by the evils of this false religion, Islam. And it is not deception brought on by that stupid building on Good Luck Road. It is deception brought on by that little paragraph in the red block right there on Mr. SHOEBAT's website. Now, before I expound on this, I'm going to play two short clips from a video I just did on March the 25th, ironically, the same day that Mr. SHOEBAT put his little paragraph online there, the one in the red block. These are two statements I made that will apply directly to what I'm getting ready to tell you, and I will leave a link to the video. It was from March 25th. I called it my Resurrection Week message. Listen to these two statements here. And take note of the scripture that I was using at that time as well. Go ahead. And then we who are watchful, not for the Antichrist, or for when the time of Jacob's trouble begins, we who watch strictly for Yeshua to come in the clouds, we must be careful of ourselves even. We have to not exaggerate things. We have to not listen to those who exaggerate things. Now, my friends, like I have said, we as watchfolk must hold each other accountable as well in all of this, and see to it that we are not deceived by what are perceived as signs. We must be as wise as serpents, even with each other. Look over whatever is presented unto us as a sign with a fine-tooth comb. Pick it apart. Be as discerning as you can be. All right, there was your two clips. Did you hear what I was getting at there? Look what it says right there, on the screen. All watch folk must hold one another accountable as well. And that is exactly what I am doing with this prophecy alert here. I am alerting us all to the fact that we must police ourselves as watch folk and watch out for people that are trying to hype things up and to exaggerate things and to even give people the indication that things are happening when they are not. And that's exactly what Mr. SHOEBAT did with this little paragraph here, the one right up there in the red block. You see, the crux of this here, Biscuit, is not Erdogan, and it's not that mosque, and it's not the evils of Islam, no. The crux of this here, Biscuit, is that little paragraph up there by WALID SHOEBAT. That's the crux of this here, Biscuit. It is a deceptive paragraph. Look at what that says. President Obama next week will open the largest American mosque. Now, nothing of the kind happened, and you know what? Let me tell you what. In retrospect, and unfortunately it has to be in retrospect, we find that there was no indication that he was even going to be there. We have no piece of confirmation at all, saying that he even intended to be there. But WALID put that up there. WALID put up there that he will be there. And he wasn't. He wasn't there. And as I said, there was no confirmation and no indication that he even planned to be there. I put my video up announcing that they both would be there together to open this atrocity on March the 27th. The next day, I checked up because I wanted to keep abreast of this. I checked up and I found this headline here. It is from Monday, March the 28th, 2016. Obama rejects Erdogan offer on Maryland mosque opening. There, the next day, I found out that Obama decided not to go, rejected him. And what I did immediately is I put a little addendum at the end of my video from the 27th, announcing that Obama had rejected Erdogan. See right here. Now, whether he rejected him right on that day, we don't know. But it's possible that Obama never intended to even go. And just hold on to your minarets. I'll show you why I say that in just a bit. But first, let me ask you this. As a watch person, don't you think that once you know something that changed, something that you have previously reported, that you should report that? Once I knew that Obama wasn't going to be there, I had to come on and say, hey, look out, Obama's not going to be at this opening, so that changes things a bit. That is why I quickly put that little annotation at the end of the last video. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear that WALID wanted to report that. It's like he wanted people to continue to think that Obama was going to be there. And that's not right. I don't know his heart. I don't know for sure if that's what he intended. But I went back to WALID's website to see if there were any other articles about Obama not attending the opening. There is nothing there showing that Obama rejected Erdogan. And it should be there. In fact, he has no story at all about the opening of the mosque itself. Nothing about the opening of the mosque or that Erdogan was there or anything. He should have put another story up about Obama rejecting Erdogan, but he did not, and that was not right. And yes, you can go directly to WALID's website and go through all the latest news, and you will see exactly what I saw. Nothing. Nothing about the mosque opening. Nothing. And man, oh man, my friends, I really take issue with the article that he cited. This one here, the one on the left. And it's not that we are really to take issue with the article. There's nothing wrong with the article. What we ought to take issue with is the fact that WALID SHOEBAT used this article as his source to show that Obama was going to be at the mosque. But guess what? Let me tell you what. There is nothing in the article to indicate that he would even be there. In fact, you got to click around for a while, and you finally find this little thing that says there was an expectation that he might come. Oy. I read that whole article later because at the time I trusted what WALID was saying. So I didn't read the article right away, and there's where I should have learned. There's why we have to keep on top of things. Now, you see what I'm saying? This exaggeration, this building things up, this hype is what really, really gets things messed up. And that makes my blood boil, especially when it comes from what you believe is a trusted source. I had no reason to believe that WALID would be blowing things out of proportion or be exaggerating, but that's what it appears to be here. And that's why we must police ourselves. That's why we must be on guard for all people who put things up here on this internet, regardless of whether they claim to be followers of Yeshua or not. Now, I'm not here to disparage Walid SHOEBAT. He's an amazing man. I mean, he was a Palestinian terrorist who is now a great witness for Yeshua HaMashiach. But my goodness, he had no real confirmation that Obama was going to be there with Erdogan. And look at the way he puts it in that paragraph. He makes it seem like Obama was the big guest and that he was just being accompanied by Erdogan. That is very deceiving. That is very misleading, that paragraph there. Now, if you want to get mad at me, or you shouldn't be jumping on Walid SHOEBAT like this, well, get mad at me. But this was not right to do. As a person who watches, and as a person who believed that Walid SHOEBAT is a watchman, I was taking him at his word. I have people that listen to what I say. I was emphatic in my video, the one I just put up the other day, saying that Erdogan and Obama would be there together. And Walid had 4 days to put out a notice that Obama had rejected Erdogan because the report of the rejection came out on March the 28th. And you know what? Let me tell you what. Again, there's probably a lot of people out there that for a while are going to believe that Obama was there. Well, he wasn't. And that's why I'm doing this video here to tell you that he wasn't there. He rejected Erdogan's invitation to go and open that mosque with him. Obama was not there. And you know what? Here's another one. I was saying before that there was a lot of indication to show that Obama had no intention of going anyway. Check this out. I went on to HOUSE.GOV, and look what it's got here. Look at this. See here, look what it says here. News about Erdogan. News about Erdogan. Look, news from 3 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Well, I went back years. I went back to press conferences. I read a lot of this stuff, and I'll leave a link so you can come on and read it yourself, but I don't know why you'd want to waste your time. There was not one mention of that mosque in Maryland. There was not even an invitation being given to Obama by Erdogan. They didn't even talk about this mosque. If you want to go on here yourself, see there, news about Erdogan. You can read about any White House business that had to do with Erdogan over the last 3 or 4 days. And it'll show there was nothing talked about with this mosque. Nothing. So what in the world gave Walid SHOEBAT the idea that Obama would even be there? There's not even evidence that Erdogan even asked him to be there. It's like he just wanted him to be there to hype it up. Oh man, I hope that's not the case. I really don't, but that's the way it looks. And that is exactly why we as watchfolk have to be as wise as serpents, even when it comes to others who claim to be watchmen on the wall. It's sad, but it's true. It's come to that. Now, I'm not going to make disparaging remarks about Walid SHOEBAT, but you see, it was pretty disingenuous for him to lead people on so adamantly into believing that Obama would have been there at that opening of that mosque. It just wasn't right. But there's something else that I think people may have been led to believe over the last day or so. Where do you hear this? That is, if you haven't heard it already. How many of you out there are familiar with this YouTube channel here? It is called Israel Bible Prophecy News Analysis and Ezekiel Temple Watch. And the channel is run by a man from Israel in the Galilee named Moshe and his wife Rivka. And he does a report every day. He does sometimes 2-3 videos a day. And he's got a bird. You can hear this bird, this parrot, in the background, squawking out the tune from Bridge on the River Kwai. It's a hoot. Well, actually, I should say it's a squawk, but I digress. I was listening to his report of Saturday, April 2nd. Now, keep in mind, it's early in the morning that he does these reports from Israel. So it's early in the morning in Israel, way ahead of us, 7 hours ahead of us. So it's April the 2nd, the day of the opening of the mosque in Maryland. And he gives this report. Listen what he says.
Okay, this is Moshe coming to you from the Galilee in Israel on Shabbat, April 2nd. We've got some stuff in the news we'll go through. In a strange coincidence, if you believe in coincidences, President Erdogan of Turkey was in D.C. and he happened to have an apparent heart attack and was rushed to the hospital. Oh my gosh. Well, let's see how this one develops.
Did you hear that? And I don't mean the bird. He said that Erdogan had a heart attack. Now what in the world? I heard Moishe's report about noon Eastern Standard Daylight Time, so I didn't hear nothing before that. And I went and I did a Google, And how many of you, and I know many of you are familiar with this site here? Take a look at what they posted on April 1st, April Fool's Day. President of Turkey suffers heart attack in Washington, D.C. And down below the picture it says that he was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. Now, if this proves out to be a hoax, Super Station 95's Little April Fool's joke, they've got a big day of accountability coming. 'Cause Erdogan apparently recovered from his heart attack, and he made it to the opening of the mosque where he spoke on April the 2nd, with nary an Obama in sight, Walid. Now, I just have one last thing to say to anyone out there who is and/or is planning to get their kicks by bearing false and/or exaggerated witness with regard to the signs of the times. Read this and weep.